Hi, I'm Jeannie, and welcome to Craft Jeannie. Today we're going to make these little finger oven mitts. They're made to put your fingers inside. So unlike a big oven mitt where your hands are like this and you've got the whole thing covered, maybe you just need to pick up a cookie sheet or something. You only need your fingers. So we've got these little oven mitts. Your fingers go inside, and you can just pick up what you need and not have your whole hand covered. I make these in two different sizes. I make a smaller size for littler hands and then a bit larger size of a finger mitt. So let's go ahead and get started. It's a very quick project, very easy. Let me show you how to make these. We start off by cutting our fabric, and I'll let you know what we need. We're going to make the smaller size one. These are 7 inches by 4.5 inches, and I slightly rounded the corners. This is the lining, the same 7 inches by 4.5 inches, and this is the front of my mitt. In this example, this is the front. There's the lining. And then we have the pockets. You'll cut 4 pockets out. These are the same 4.5 inches, but they're only 3.5 inches wide or tall. You're going to also round the bottom, just the bottom corners, and then linings of the same size, rounded on the bottom corner. So to make one set, oh, I forgot, we have our batting inside. I have regular batting for the pockets here, but the business end of this is going to be touching your hot surfaces. I'm using a product called Insulbright. This actually has a little layer of metal inside there that helps to keep the heat off your hands. It's thin, but it is very effective. The only thing with this, it's not going to be microwave safe because you do have the metal inside, but it's machine washable and machine dryable. So I've cut a piece for the backing and then the smaller pieces for the pockets. So to make one, we will need one backing, one piece of Insulbright, one front piece. We will need 2 lining pockets, or lining pieces, and we will need 2 front pieces for the pocket. You'll also need a small piece of bias tape. So let's go ahead and get started. Okay, we're going to start off by basting the pockets together. Because we have a lot of layers, this thing can come apart easily. If the pocket is basted all the way around, you have a much better chance of this turning out good. So here's the lining of the pocket, pretty side down. I'm putting in the batting and the top of the pocket. Let's come over to the machine and we're going to baste this together. Now, I'm using a contrasting thread because I want it to be able to show up. I am making the tiniest little 1/8 of an inch seam all the way around. This is not going to show when it's done. I just want to hold this all together. You can see by looking at it, I just stitched it really close to the end, making sure both sides have been sewn. Okay, now I'm going to go ahead and sew the binding on the top. Make sure you put it on the square top end, not on the edge that has your rounded corners. The binding, open it up, make sure that half of it is on the back, the other part is on the front, and we're going to go ahead and sew through it. Okay, pockets are sewn. We're going to go ahead and get this assembled. I want to start with the back of the little pot holder. I'm going to set it down pretty side up. Then I'm going to put my pockets pretty side down so the lining is showing. Then I want the back lining, and this is also going to be pretty side down. So you'll notice you've got the pretty side to pretty side on those. And finally, our insole bright will go on top. There's no right or wrong side to the insole bright. It was kind of curled, so I'm just putting it down that way. And pin it all together. And I pinned this pretty well because, like I said, the layers can slip out on each other, and you'll have a mess on your hands, so I like to keep it pinned pretty well. Now we're going to take it over to the machine, and what I'm going to do is I'm going to start sewing just about a ½ inch from this corner, go all the way around, up, and just about a ½ inch to this corner. We'll lock those in place, and then we'll turn it over, and we're just about done here. This one I'm going to give it about a ¼ inch seam. At this point, I usually trim it too. You may have, especially some of the insole bright that sticks out, or possibly some of the binding. Just trim it down. Okay, and now we need to turn it inside out. Now, I'm not going to kid you, this part's going to be a little bit harder to do. You'll need to find the spot where you've got lining to lining, and that's where you want to reach into, not to the front part. You want to reach in lining to lining and start turning it inside out. Like I said, it's kind of a tight fit, so it'll take you just a moment to do this. It's not hard, just not super easy to turn it inside out. And if you make the larger mitt, it actually is a little bit easier because you've got more room there, more of an opening. Okay, I got one pocket out. Almost got it. Okay, so take our bottom pocket. We're looking at the lining. Take the bottom pocket, flip it inside out. Take the top pocket, flip it inside out, and you're going to look at it and go, "Oh no, Craft Genie, what happened? We've got a hole here." Not to worry. I flip it over just to make sure that all the seams are sewn. Let's go ahead and finish up fixing this big hole in the top. So turn it back so we're looking at the inside. Make sure all the layers are up. Bring it back to your sewing machine, and we're going to stitch right across that opening. I'm going to sew it, and then I'll show you what I've sewn afterwards. I'm going to sew it, and then I'm also going to put a little tiny zigzag over it as well, just to lock it in place. So I did a seam, a little zigzag. I'm going to trim off the excess, trim off that string, and now flip it back over. And you're done. That's all there is to it. Now this was, like I said, a originally cut 4.5 by 7 inches. If you want the bigger size pot holder, you're going to cut it 5.5, but the same 7 inches. Pockets the same, but make them 5.5 instead of 4.5. The bigger one's nicer for, my husband uses the bigger one. Someone might have larger hands or want it to be a little bit roomier. So that's what you're going to do. These are great to have in your kitchen. They make a great little gift. I've put a set of these, and maybe put some measuring spoons or a little spatula or wisp inside there, tie a ribbon around it. It makes a really cute little gift. So quick, easy, give it a try.